Welcome back. Let's continue with Busi and Kensani. So, remember Busi and Kensani decided to go apple picking as one of the activities on their list. Busi picks 8 apples per minute and Kensani picks 12 apples per minute. What is the apple picking ratio of Kensani to Busi? So, Kensani to Busi. Remember, Kensani was 12 apples per minute and Busi was 8 apples per minute. So now we are calculating ratio because we are dealing with quantities of the same kind. So that means that their ratio there is 12:8. But remember, we need to simplify that, and we simplify that using the highest common factor. Do you know what the highest common factor is between 12 and 8? Yes, you are correct. It is 4. So if we divide 12 by 4 and we divide 8 by 4, we have 3:2. Okay. Let's look at the next question. So Busi and Kensani's trip has come to an end. They still have 17 pounds left in their account. How much do they have in South African rands? Remember the ratio of pounds to rands? That is 1 pound is to 19 rands and 95 cents. So because they have 17 pounds left, we are going to multiply with 17. What I do on one side, I am going to do on the other side. We multiply by 17. That gives us 17 pounds is to, yes, 339 rands and 15 cents. Keep that value there because we are going to use it in our next question. So Busi and Kensani decide to invest the remaining amount at the bank for their next holiday in 2 years' time. The bank offers them an interest of 12% per annum on simple interest or 11% per annum on compound interest. So we need to find out which investment is better for their savings. We need to show all the calculations. So we are going to say, for the simple interest, do you remember what was the amount that they had left in their account? That was 339 rands and 15 cents. The simple interest was 12%. So that is 12 divided by 100, and we are going to multiply that with 2 years. You punch that into your calculator as it is, and our answer there is 420 and 55 cents. Remember your unit, that's 420 rands and 55 cents. If we do the compound, that formula has the exponent in, which is the period. We are still dealing with the same amount because we want to find out which one is better. The interest with the compound was now 11%. So that is going to be 11 divided by 100. And now the 2, which is the period, is going to be the exponent. You punch that in as it is, and your answer is going to be 417 and 87 cents. So which account was better? It is better for them to take the simple interest instead of the compound interest. And when we look at the proportion here, as the final amount increases, the number of years also increases, which means that it is a direct proportion. So let's wrap up. During this lesson, we covered ratio, rate, and proportion. Remember, we looked at time, speed, and distance. We also looked at finance, where we looked at exchange rate, interest, which is the simple interest, and the compound interest. We also looked at the new words for this lesson, and that was direct proportion, indirect proportion, distance, time, speed, exchange rate, interest, simple interest, and compound interest. Now, remember, when we are dealing with this topic, you need to make sure that you use brackets when you're substituting. So those are the common errors that we are working with. Remember, a ratio is not the same as a fraction. Rate and ratio are not the same. Remember, ratio, we are comparing quantities of the same kind, and rate, we are comparing different quantities. Simple interest and compound interest is also not the same. Simple interest calculates interest on the original amount, and compound interest calculates interest on the accumulated amount. And lastly, ratio is not as an additive relationship. So 1:2 cannot change to become 2:3. So you need to remember those common errors. Let's end off with a challenge. So Saziso opens a bank account to invest his savings. The bank gives him 7.8% per annum on simple interest. If he has a total of 8,510 rands after 9 years, how much will he invest? How much did he invest initially? So that was our lesson today.